Friends, now we will discuss about the right of pre-audience of an advocate. So, there are certain classes of advocates. We know that there are classifications among advocates also, like senior advocate, like law officers, like that. So, basing on this classification, some right of pre-audience has been assigned to them. So, what is the right of pre-audience first? First, we have to understand what is right of pre-audience. Right of pre-audience is a right of an advocate to address in preference of all other advocates present. So, right of pre-audience of an advocate is a right. Is a right of to address so to address in preference to address in preference of all other advocates of all other advocates present and appearing at the hearing of any matter issue in the court or tribunal or any authority, etc. So, the right of pre-audience of an advocate is a right to address in preference of all other advocates present or appear present and appearing in a matter or at the hearing of a matter, at the hearing of a matter issue in the court, in the court, a tribunal or any authority. This is covered. So here what we have to understand, in preference of all other advocates present and appear at the hearing of matter in the court or tribunal or any authority. This is called right of pre-audience. Hearings are there in the court or tribunal. Several advocates appeared. Among them, some of the advocates or one of the advocate has a right in preference of all other advocates, right of pre-audience, in preference of all other advocates present and appearing. So that is called right of pre-audience. Now come to who has such right of pre-audience. Who has such right of pre-audience? According to Section 23 of Advocates Act 1961, this right of pre-audience has been fixed. So, Section 23 fixed this, provides for right of pre-audience. If Section 23 provides. Okay. Now come to what is Section 23. Here, Section 23. So, what is Section 23? According to Section 23, the Attorney General of India, is having right of pre-audience at first. So, it has given seniority also. Seriatim also. So, first preference has been given to the Attorney General of India. He shall have pre-audience over all other advocates. That is first. Now, the next in the line is the Solicitor General of India. So, you have to draw a line. Okay. Who are them? First, Attorney General. Attorney General is the first. Next, Solicitor General. Solicitor General. Next, Additional Solicitor General, ASG. Next, Second Additional General. Second ASG. Next, Advocate General of any state. Advocate General of any state. If there are number of advocates general, then what is the position? Inter se shall be determined by their respective seniority. Suppose right of pre-audience among advocates general is inter se shall be determined their respective seniority. So here what we have to understand, the persons who are in the next to Attorney General are subjected to the clause 1. The persons who are next to Solicitor General, their right of pre-audience is subjected to provisions of 1 and 2. The advocates who are under the next in the line of the ASG, that means Additional Solicitor General of India, their right of pre-audience is subject to provisions of 1, 2 and 3. So, the advocates who are next to Second Additional Solicitor General, that means that advocate generals of any state, their right of pre-audience is subject to the provisions of subsections of 1, 2, 3 and 3A. So that means all the rights of pre-audience, the right of pre-audience of all the advocates who are in the next line is subject to the above senior. Subject to the above person who stood in the first, who stood immediately his before, who is in above position. So that is subject. Next, come to last category of advocates mentioned in subsection 5. Who are they? They are senior advocates. So the right of pre-audience of senior advocate is subject to first all the above mentioned persons, and thereafter senior advocates shall have pre-audience over other advocates. So here, who is other advocates? General advocates. Other advocates are general advocates. So, if there are more than one senior advocates, their right of pre-audience shall be determined by their respective seniority. So, this is about right of pre-audience. So, first the right of pre-audience has been settled on the designation of law officers of union government and state governments. Preference of senior advocates. So, preference of senior advocates. So, designated law officers having right of pre-audience in preference of senior advocates. So, that we have to. So, there is a one line of advocates before senior advocates. They are law officers. So, if there is any advocate who is having any distinction, he is the last advocate, appear at the same time in a manner in the court, including Supreme Court. Some distinction here. These Attorney General, Solicitor General, Additional Solicitor General, Second Additional Solicitor General, Advocate General, all are having some distinction. So, basing on their distinction, this right of pre-audience has been given. That we have to keep in mind.